All right, guys, let's talk some Seattle Mariners. They started spring training today.
DJ, you got that score update?
I do, and in the top of the...
He's not reading. He's trying to remember, and he can't.
Okay, top of the second, it's 3-1
there you
Mariners.
There you go.
All right.
It means a lot.
Yes.
This first spring training game is so important.
It's so important to get out of the gates winning.
Especially in spring training.
Yes.
Let's just kind of do an overview. The Mariners added 3 or 4 new players, and D. Gordon, obviously the most significant, the second baseman from the Marlins, now the center fielder for the Mariners. Ryan Healy from the Athletics, who is already on the DL with a bone spur in his hand.
Technically not on the DL, but
he's not playing.
He's
He's out for a month.
4 to 6 weeks, yep.
Juan Nicasio, a free agent signing for the
I like that
one. Nick Rumbelow, a guy from the Yankees, and several other less significant moves.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about it. What do you guys think? What do you guys feel? What's the mood on the Seattle Mariners as they start spring training today?
I'm pretty disappointed, honestly, with what they did this offseason. I mean, everybody knew what did the Mariners need. Their offense was all right, but they need more starting pitching. And they didn't get a single starting pitcher this offseason. They're just going to trot out the exact same starting 5 that they had last year, and we know how many days that those guys missed last year, and even when they were healthy, they were average at best. I mean, but their pitchers last year missed a total of 1,114 days. I don't see how you can expect the same group of pitchers to be healthier and better. What did they show you that makes you think it's going to be any different?
DJ, you got thoughts on that? I mean, I have thoughts on it, but
yeah, I mean, I think that's it's a great point. I would have liked to see him go out and get more starting pitching as well. However, I think this offensive lineup that they're running out day in and day out, I think could be one of the best in the American League. We lost Dyson, but we gained Gordon. Sorry. So we're still going to be quick. We're still going to be fast, especially in the outfield. And I think D. Gordon has the most important quality that you need to play outfield, and that's speed. And especially at Safeco Field, it's a bigger ballpark with bigger dimensions, and so I think he'll be able to make that transition. I don't want to say easily, but he'll be just fine out there. And as for pitching, I was talking to Christian today over text, and I said they're a what if team.
Yeah.
And on paper, you got Felix Paxton, Leak, Erasmo Ramirez, and Marco Gonzalez. I really liked what Ariel Miranda did. There was a stretch there last year where he was the best starter for the Mariners because everybody was injured or they weren't, performing up to par. So I think this pitching staff has the potential to be okay, and I think okay as a pitching staff will be good enough to get by with the offense that the Mariners have right now. And if you could steal a couple wins down there at the bottom of that pitching rotation, I feel like we can compete for a wild card spot there'll probably be a team, another team from the West that competes. The Astros are going to probably win the division, but you got to be better than that team from the East because the Red Sox and the Yankees are loaded as well.
what is your mood on the Mariners? Call us 253-535-7332. Again, our phone number is 253-535-7332. Give us your mood on the Seattle Mariners. DJ, you mentioned the Houston Astros. Over the offseason, they added Garrett Cole to their pitching staff. And Seth, part of your disappointment stems from, I think, the honesty within the organization, maybe not outward to the public, but, I mean, the Mariners could have added Jake Arrieta, and they're not better than the Astros.
And they still
close.
could. And they still could sign either Lance Lynn or Alex Cobb. I think they're just the price tag right now is a little more than what the Mariners want to pay for a lower, I don't know, fourth or fifth starter.
Sign Jake Arrieta, sign Alex Cobb, sign Lance Lynn, and they're still not better than the Astros.
Yes.
So that's the dilemma that we're at. What is kind of fun, I guess, is that you can kind of see that, DJ, you mentioned the offense, the addition of D. Gordon, the addition of Ryan Healy. They're going to be really good offensively. Really, really good offensively.
And we saw Mike Zunino kind of with a resurgence. Well, I don't want to say resurgence, but emergence of his offense in the second half of the season.
What's going to happen is people will go to Safeco Field.
Mm-hmm.
They'll be decent.
Yeah.
They're not going to be. They're going to be fighting for that last wild card spot.
Yeah.
Just like you said, the Yankees, the Red Sox, the Indians, the Astros,
and honestly,
somebody else.
Yeah. At this point, as a Mariners fan, I just want to see them, even if they just get in the wild card game and play and lose. I am happy with that because we have the longest playoff drought. As Mariners fans, we have the longest playoff drought in Major League Sports. I think it is.
Yeah.
So just getting in the playoffs would satisfy, because it's really hard. You got to be consistent throughout the season. The Mariners always have that one stretch where they just, kind of dip below 500 and then they're not able to recover from that.
And they're kind of in an awkward spot where their roster's all right. They're a borderline playoff team, maybe, if things fall their way. But they're probably not contending for a World Series. But on the same token, you can't exactly blow it up at this point. You're committed to Nelson Cruz and Robinson Cano, Felix, big contracts like that. And the farm system's very thin. So it's kind of like they have to make it work now.
The farm system is legitimately the worst in baseball.
Yeah.
Reason being, the farm system can't get better until the big league club is better, right? No one cares if the Rainiers win a PCL title. No one. So you got to fix the big league club first. I think they're finally in a position where they can become stable at the major league level and start to facilitate creating talented players for the future. But like I said, you got to establish a big league roster first.
I think,
they're there.
Yeah, Cruz's contract, that's a tongue twister, is up at the end of this year. You can sign a guy on a short-term deal as a DH. Outfield, in the outfield, they're fine right now. They're young.
Mm-hmm.
You got Gamble, you got Gordon, and you got Haneker. And you can sign a DH after this season. I think Cano still has a couple good years out of him. And so I think, like Christian said, they're at a good spot at the major league level.
The problem with Nelson Cruz is if we get to the trade deadline and Mariners aren't doing what they're supposed to.
Yeah.
They're selling. There's not much to sell. Nelson Cruz, teams who are going to want the half of a year of Nelson Cruz. It's going to be an American League team because he's a designated hitter. He's not an outfielder, right? And the teams that we just mentioned between the Astros, the Red Sox, the Yankees, the Indians, they all have what Nelson Cruz is, correct? They all have that right-handed power bat. The Yankees have two of the best in baseball.
Yeah.
The Red Sox just signed J.D. Martinez.
Mm-hmm.
Who will primarily DH for
The
him.
Indians have Edwin Encarnacion.
Who's the Astros DH?
Evan Gattis.
Okay.
I mean, they
When
all
he's
have a
not
right-handed bopper, right?
Yeah.
So there goes your playoff teams who don't need Nelson Cruz. There's half of the league that is going to be bad and trying to get better draft picks.
There's not
And the
gonna be much
fringe
of a
teams,
market.
right? There's no market to trade Nelson Cruz. The Mariners are the team who would need Nelson Cruz if they don't have Nelson Cruz already.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If that makes sense.
Okay, what about if Felix is having a decent year to where he's becoming more of, developing more as just a pitcher, and, like you said, Mariners aren't doing it very well at the trade deadline. Could you see the Mariners moving him? Not to the Astros. We talked about that already. Astros are fine. Maybe like the Red Sox or the Yankees possibly, because the Yankees could use a fourth or fifth starter, and Felix would be probably the best fourth or fifth starter in the MLB if that trade was to happen.
He would be, but no one's going to eat that money.
Also, he has a no trade
Not even the
clause.
Yankees?
No. They don't need
can't-
him.
They can't even trade him. Felix would have to waive his no trade clause.
He would
That
approve
would
the
happen.
trade, right? But
That's true.
No one would eat the money. This is the same thing with Robinson Cano. No one's going to eat Cano's contract. And even Kyle Seager, who needs to play a ton better this year if the team's going to be in contention, no one's going to eat Kyle Seager's contract.
Yeah.
There's still 4 years and half of $100 million. It was a 7-year, $100 million contract when he signed it. So we're about the halfway point. So people would have to eat that contract for Kyle Seager.
I think Seager rebounds this year, though.
He's going to have to.
Yeah. For in order for the Mariners to be better, Seager is going to have to be better, because he had a down year last year. He batted only like, 246.
About 250, yeah. Not
Yeah.
good enough.
That's
Not good enough for your all-star Gold Glove third baseman.
Yeah.
Made
And
about 25 errors all year long. I
he's-
mean, not great.
He regressed definitely from his Gold Glove form a couple years ago. So and I trust him. He's a grinder. He'll get back in it, I believe, this year. So I'm excited. I'm always filled with optimism during the beginning of baseball season.
Try and put your mood on the Mariners in one word, because I feel like we're a little. My word would be anxious. I want it to get going. I want to see what they are. Anxious is the word that I would use. You have a word that you can use for your mood on the Mariners?
2 words, I guess.
Oh.
Cautiously optimistic. Every year, well, you know the expression, hope springs eternal. I want to root for the Mariners, and I want them to win. But you just know, with the roster that they have, it's probably not going to happen.
There you go. Cautiously optimistic for Seth. DJ, you have a word for your mood on the Mariners?
Kind of like along the same lines as you, eager.
There you go.
I'm eager for the season to start, eager to see what they have at their disposal, and like I said, the what if team. So we'll see.